Okay, the highlights from Wednesday, I think it is. GreatStockPicks.com live trading chat room. Well, first of all, you see the SPY. These are 5-minute candles. Got a real nice sell-off here. Usually when that happens, I'm like a kid in a candy store because I like bottom feeding, and I'm figuring, hey, maybe we can get some nice bottom feeding plays. But I should start the video with GLUU, little baby stock. Here's the daily. Nice big high volume breakout the other day, and then a couple red days, which landed it. One of our members, Glenn Joe, added it to our watch list this morning as a story stock, takeover chatter or something like that. But couple that with, let's go to 2-minute candles. Zio, one of our chat room all-stars, he's the one that, I'm jumping around here. He's the one that mentioned MCP yesterday, over 30, right in the opening couple minutes. And you saw that in the wrap-up video. Huge call. A lot of people made money on that. Zio did it again today on GLUU. Basically, about 1 minute in, 2 minutes in, he called it over the 2-minute high with a low of day stop. Okay, so here's the opening 2-minute candle with a high of 474. So that means a long idea 475. Worst case stop below the low of the day, 465. Okay, dime risk, and you can see what happens. 475 makes it all the way to 518. I didn't do the math as far as percentage gain, but yeah, that's a nice move, almost a 10% move, I think, on a dime risk. So Zio strikes again. He's our go-to guy on the early calls. As I said in the video yesterday, I usually spend the first 10 minutes building a list of high-volume stocks to look for ideas. One of my favorite ideas this morning was Lionsgate, LGF. It's been pretty beaten up ever since it got up to here. And so when it sold off early this morning, had my attention as a bottom-feeding play. Made a verbal call at 1372, somewhere right around here. Worst case stop, low of day. And it just grinded for a while. And I actually sold some into this spike. I believe it went up to 1395. I did sell some there. I said in case it can't get through 14. Ended up bleeding back down to my entry, and I was back out. So made a nice trade on some of it, and then the rest I took a flat. Still hoping, used to be a lot of these we would catch the bottom and they would run all day and take out the high of the day. I'm still having to tweak my profit-taking methods for the new market. And speaking of bottom feeding, I made a small gain for the room here in TEX2 over this little narrow red candle. 22.49 was the call. Worst case stop below the candle, 22.40. So 9 cents risk. You can see it only went up to 22.68. So about a 20-cent move. Nothing to brag about. But again, we were scaling out into that. And it came out and took out the low of the day, but didn't take us out because we scaled out, went to a break-even stop on the final third. And you can see how it went into a plank the rest of the day. NTAP was another call by me. I love bottom feeding. This is when the SPY was selling off. I chose NTAP as one to follow because I like the shape and the volume. Called NTAP at 45.22, right about here. And again, didn't exactly tear it up. It went to 45.47. So nothing to brag about, but the stop was tight. And, it gave us a nice little tradable move there. I don't have any big ones today. Expedia, same thing. Bottom feeding. When it would look like this, I called this when it came back up at 32.50. 32.51, I'm sorry. And over the next 10 minutes, it went to 32.85. Again, that's not huge, but a nice trade nonetheless. And then it went into the plank, which a lot of stocks do anymore. And I think that was all my calls. Tyco, somebody asked about, every once in a while, I'll use 30-minute candles. This is kind of a funny story for my entry idea. And someone said, well, when will you use 30s? I get some criticism for using 30s. Being a day trader, 30s seems like kind of a wide candle to use for a day trade. But so when they asked about it, I said, Tyco is a good example. TYC, nice gap up into space on the daily. These are 5-minute candles. And then it rips through the high of the day, but you saw the market was weak, and so it brings Tyco down with it. And when Tyco looked like this and started chopping around, once it took out the low of the day, I said this is a good scenario for when I would just, see how choppy it is on 5s. There's no discernible setup. Good example for when I would use 30s. Keep in mind, it looked like this when I brought it up, which would mean the first break of a previous 30-minute candle's high, 55.24 in this case, with a stop below the previous 30s low. And then it rips through 55.24. It gets to 56.66. So using 30s still gave a $1.20 something move in our favor. And the stop was a little over 20 cents risk. So even though it seems silly, because if you use 5s and you try to find a way in, It's just, it broke a previous 5 here, here, just chopping all over the place. So 30s just cleans it up. And anyway, Tycho made an unbelievable move. Although I can't say that, as far as I know, anyone in the chat room got it, because I projected it and then I went on to other things and I did not get it myself. But it is an example of a way to use it. And there were several other entries, even 15s, that could have got us in. A very nice little doji candle on 15s. But I'd already missed that, I believe. So then Tycho just took off. Anyway, weird that it happened kind of right after I projected it. But that's it. I think that was all the calls for the day. We had several good calls, some good short ideas by one of our all-stars, Big. I didn't do a good job of doing the screen captures today of their calls. But several good calls by our members, our all-stars, I should say, in chat. The guys with the different color font and a chime when they post them. So anyway, I had what I call sandwich money on several different trades. I don't think I had any losing trades today, but I also didn't knock it out of the park on anything. Expedia, probably my best trade, just because it happened so quickly and with such nice volume. It's a pretty good trade there. So I'm going to wrap it up. Nothing to brag about. We will put out another video tomorrow from what we do in tomorrow's trading. Have a good night.